A four-airline flyby marking the 47th National Day of the UAE was definitely something to be proud of. But does this signify a closer cooperation between the airlines in the UAE? This is what we will be discussing in today's edition of Inside AB. I am Shruti Nair and this is Jeremy Lawrence. Right, so Jeremy, most people in the UAE who were here did witness something really historic over the weekend. So tell us about that.
Yeah, historic, surprising, whatever you want to call it. But for National Day, the four airlines of the UAE, Etihad, Emirates, Flydubai and Air Arabia, put on a show along with a flying formation with 7 jets from the Fursan aerobatics team. So that's pretty big. That's a pretty big statement that was bound to lead to tongues wagging, because there's obviously been they're rivals in many senses. Of course, Flydubai and Emirates now have a partnership, but until even a year ago, that seemed unlikely. So to see them all flying there in formation, people were asking, what does this really mean for the industry? Are they trying to tell us something?
Right, so Jeremy, you did mention that it did come as a surprise to many of us, but what exactly was the significance of this event?
Well, as you mentioned, it's 47th National Day and also 100th anniversary of the birth of Sheikh Zayed, the founding father, who brought the different Emirates together. So you could see that this was a way of the different Emirates and the different businesses here in the interest saying, ultimately we are still working together towards one common cause, which is furthering the betterment of the UAE. So that was significant on the face of it, but obviously it got tongues wagging about whether it meant anything else in terms of future cooperation. And as that word you're about to mention to me.
Yes, which is mergers. So I'm going to ask you that question right now. So does this in any way mean that there could be a merger in the future?
Yes, this was the question that got the tongues wagging. Now, Shayan Shakil, who writes a lot of our aviation news for Arabian Business, he wrote a slightly provocative piece in the magazine this week, just, asking that question once again, because he's asked it before. So when he found out that this flyby was happening, he sought out the Emirates PR team and asked if they were up to something, and he sort of got eyes rolled and a smile. They weren't going to answer. He said when he last pushed the question to the flydubai CEO, Gaith Al Gaith, after the carrier just confirmed their co-share agreement with Emirates, he'd sort of just laughed and sort of brushed aside the question. But of course, that partnership has been very successful. When he'd asked the same question to Emirates CEO Sheikh Ahmed, Sheikh Ahmed had been a little bit more coy, and he said that there are forces that could come into play in terms of cooperation between airlines, in terms of ground handling, maintenance and talent, etc. And so, they always deny it, but they don't rule out any further forms of cooperation.
Right. So, Jeremy, right now we do know that Etihad and Emirates are already sharing pilots, but could we also see other terms of cooperation in terms of sharing services and operations among all of these airline operators in the UAE?
Yeah, this is the big thing, as Shayan pointed out. So they've decided they will share pilots, Etihad and Emirates. And as Shayan asked, could Emirates Group Dnata handle Etihad's ground operations at its destination in Europe? Because of course Dnata has fantastic bases there. Could Etihad Airways Engineering, which is a fantastic service, provide services for the UAE's other airlines? Air Arabia is doing well in Sharjah, but could the other lines help out and make it even better than Air Arabia are already doing? So there's lots of ways as they become bigger businesses that they could actually and probably will cooperate more in the future.
Right, so basically a lot of questions that still remain unanswered, but right now I just need to know one thing from you, which is, are you in any way saying that there could be a closer alignment among all of these organizations essentially?
It seems like over the coming decades, and again we're talking about a long time, it's bound to happen because they're massive industries that can't just, as they grow, they can't just do it on their own. They'll need to compete in order to scale and do it effectively. So yes, you would imagine. So. And that's the recent history has told us that, Flydubai and Emirates was unthinkable, and now it's a very successful partnership. And okay, it was a statement for National Day and it was an important event, but it does suggest that they are looking at working together as an industry to further the betterment of the UAE.
Right, so basically we presume that there could be closer alignments, closer cooperation among the airlines, but we're not quoting anybody here. This is it for today's edition on Inside AB. We will be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. So don't forget to like, follow, share and subscribe.